Good morning and welcome to Ramble number 23 of this year. How are you all doing? I hope you've had a good week. Certainly the weather's been pretty good and I believe we're in for a bit of a heat wave over the weekend. It's a nice change, isn't it, after all that awful weather that we had in May. So fingers crossed for the next month or so that we have some lovely warm summer weather. News is not particularly good in terms of singing and the government's response. It seems that although they're considering the whole issue of only 6 people being able to sing, they don't seem to be relenting in any way, despite many petitions, despite many calls on local MPs. They're saying they're still reviewing it, but it's looking like, sadly, it's going to be at least the next easing, whenever that might be, before we are able to all get together to sing. But I hope sometime the end of next month, the end of this month rather, gosh yes, we're in the middle of June already, that we might be able to recommence. So fingers crossed, and we're just keeping an eye on it the whole time. I suggested to you last week that you might listen to Choral Evensong this week from St George's Chapel, Windsor. I wonder if any of you did. Having heard the matins last Sunday on Sunday worship, I was looking forward to it. I made a point of listening. 2 of my absolute favourite pieces being the Finzi Magnificat and Elgar Give Unto the Lord, which is such a wonderful, wonderful piece, setting of Psalm 29, isn't it? And the choir again were on amazing form, sang so beautifully. This is another unaccompanied psalm. But the Finzi Magnificat, if you don't know it and you haven't heard it and you didn't listen to it, listen again to BBC Choral Evensong, because it is just such an exciting piece. I'd forgotten quite how exciting it was and how many nuances there are in it. And of course Finzi is the master of melody, and he wrote some lovely lines in that. And then, as I mentioned to you, the Amen at the end is simply heaven sent. It just transports you somewhere else, and I was just waiting for that moment, and when it came I was not disappointed at all. So I do encourage you, after Lo the Full Final Sacrifice, that's the second best Amen ever. There was also a very interesting programme I caught the tail of. I didn't see it all, so I'm trying to look back. I think it was on BBC 4 a couple of nights ago, and it was about the building of Coventry Cathedral, because next year I think will be the 60th anniversary of the consecration of the new cathedral. When I worked in St Mary's in Warwick, which I did for 9 years, a few years ago now, Coventry Cathedral was our diocesan cathedral, so I had the fortune to work there quite a lot and make music there, and it is an extraordinary place, so different. And actually it was really interesting to watch this programme, because there was old footage from 1962, and they were the BBC interviewer actually was I found him a little bit patronising and certainly opinionated. But everything seems so old-fashioned in 1962, and then they cut in with some modern views as well. I think it was called something like the building of Coventry Cathedral, but if you're interested in things like that, I found it very, very fascinating indeed. I didn't hear anything about the music particularly, but the building, you know, and the tapestry, the Graham Sutherland, the John Piper window. I mean, just amazing, the artists that were brought in that building. And the Epstein statue as well. So yeah, worth a look if you want to sort of spin back and see that. Be good. Right, so a few more silly facts. Well, not silly facts this week actually, they're just interesting facts, all very random, just keep you amused for a moment. First one is, did you know, and I didn't know this, and I was listening to my girls practicing the violin this morning, but a single violin is made up of over 70 individual pieces of wood. Did you know that? It's true. Amazing. Second question. I joke with some of my friends sometimes that having chosen a career in church music or in music, I was never going to make a lot of money. Being a conductor, do you ever make any money? Well, I was astounded, but actually when I think about it, maybe not, to learn that when Leonard Bernstein died, now I mean I remember he was so famous, and he wrote West Side Story amongst other things, but when he died he left a fortune of $250 million. So there is money in music after all. And just an interesting fact, one of my favourite composers is Mendelssohn, both his vocal music, but actually he wrote some lovely organ music too. But what I didn't know about Mozart was that he was an art enthusiast as well. He was really interested in art, and he painted a lot of watercolours. I've not ever seen one, but I'm going to look out now for an original Mendelssohn picture. But yeah, there are lots of watercolours painted by Mendelssohn. These people who are so talented, just extraordinary really. So there we are. This week, www.swaningeteam.com is the website for all the up-to-date information about what's going on in the parish. And gosh, yes, forgot to say, tomorrow there is actually a wedding in St Mary's. I'm going to play for a wedding. Now, I can't remember the last time. It must be at least a year ago, maybe more, since there was a wedding. So that's extraordinary, really. Quite exciting, really. It's just another thing, just getting back to a bit of normality again. So that should be fun. But we've got the online services as always, or we are always glad to see you at services in person. Good. So for my recommendation for this week, it's a short one, and I was thinking actually about the wedding, and then it just reminded me of a piece that I've always loved. Now some of you might think it's a little bit too cheesy, but I just think it's a beautiful piece. It's by John Rutter. Cheesy. And it's called As the Bridegroom to His Chosen. And I think the words and music are by John, and it's just a great example of what a craftsman he is. Beautifully modelled, the way he uses the voices in unison, a cappella, descants, mixing the girls with the men, you know. And I've always been a great admirer of his orchestration. I do quite a lot of orchestration myself, and he's one of the people I always listen to. And just, you know, I listen to a piece and I just listen how he uses the instruments, where the woodwind comes in, where the harp comes in, where the brass is used. And he's just a genius, absolute genius at that. So this is a miniature, it's 4 minutes or so. It's just got the most glorious tune. It's got classic John Rutter modulations too. So it has everything. It's just really lovely. So I wouldn't put it as, you know, one of the greatest classics of all time, but if you just want a bit of easy listening for 3 or 4 minutes, check it out. John Rutter as the bridegroom to his chosen. I've sent you a link, and I've put the words, the text, on my email as well. So hope you enjoy that. So we didn't do any singing last week because my this ramble was delayed. I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to upload today without too much problem, but let us just do a few little exercises. The piano is waiting behind me. I think the dog is down there. Yes. Right, so sitting up as ever, nice and straight, feet on the floor if you're sitting down. If you're standing up, nice and relaxed, make sure your knees are not locked. Let's just do a couple of deep breaths. That's good. And let's do our usual siren any way you like, starting low and just stretching it. Okay, jolly good. Hope that was at work for you. So shall we do our slides going and we go up in semitones. Off you go. ya. Relaxing that jaw and stretching. Mezzo forte. Going ya, 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 ya. Off you go. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya. Really stretch. Ya, 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 ya. 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 One more. Ya, 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 ya. Good. And we'll finish with our old favourite. A-R-E. Nice and bright. 1, 2, 3. A-R-E, 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 last one. If you managed that okay, that was a top A, which is pretty good for a Friday morning. So I hope that helped, excuse me. So I hope that you have a good week this week. As I say, enjoy the sunshine. Try and listen to that music if you can. I'll see some of you on Sunday, but hopefully see everyone else before too long. But until then, stay safe and take care.